Hey guys, welcome back. For this topic, we'll be discussing about navigation layouts. So now, without any further ado, let's get started. To start with, I'll be using the one of the example from the MUI documentation. And for that component, I'll be using this one. So please hit from the documentation and scroll down and look for this component drawer. From the example here, I want to try this responsive drawer. Uh, this is a very nice component. As you can see, this is a very responsive one because if I'm going to minimize or lessen the width, it will become like this one. So this is designed for mobile example. Okay, so where's that? Okay, here. So this is one of the good example to try on. So if for those who are developing using mobile, we all know that in whatever apps that you're working on, it should be responsive. So for this one, the nice feature here is this site navigation bar here. So let's focus on this part here, and we're going to apply that in our example project. So let's start. To start with, let's check the source code by clicking this icon here. As you can see, there's a bunch of codes from this example. So we're going to copy all of this. So let's say I'm going to copy this component name. So I'm going to copy that and head back to our example code. For that demo, I'm going to create that component inside this component folder here. So let's start. Just paste that component name, then change that to the JavaScript format. Okay, and then I'm going to copy this one. Then let's paste it here. Okay, so let's make sure that everything is working. So from here, I see there's an error. Okay, so this is this use types. Okay. So this is using TypeScript, so I'm going to remove this one. Okay, so no need for that. Okay, make sure we clear those TypeScript syntax. So let's check everything. Okay. Don't worry for those who knows TypeScript. The concept is still the same. So just follow along with this basic stuff, and yeah, uh, this should be applied to all the types that you're working on. Okay. Okay, good. So I guess no more error from this part here. So what we're going to do next is we need to import this responsive drawer to our app.js. So to do that, I'll be remove this hello world. Okay, just type this less than bracket here, then type res. Should be the same name with the components that we declared a while ago. Then once you saw this one here, look for the component. So for this one here, we have the responsive drawer. And there you go. So this is automatic import our component. So let's close this up. Let's save it. Okay, cool. So now we're done. Let's check or head over to our browser example. So just go back here. And this is the actual running app for our React. And there you go. Cool. So let's try first to minimize this one if the responsive approach still the same. Oh yeah. So nothing changed. So I guess this one is perfectly fine. Nice. Okay. So now that we have our responsive drawer component, the next thing we need to do now is we need to clean up so that we can see a nice presentation for this one. Because right now, what we did is we comprise or merge them in one component. So what I'm going to do is I want this responsive drawer to split up. So as you can see, we have three sections here. We can split this site navigation, this top navigation drawer here, the header here, and also we have this content. So for this example, we're going to split this up so that we can organize our stuff here. So let's start. To do that, I'm going to create create a folder inside this component here. So to do that, I'm going to create a new folder and I'm going to name that as layouts. Okay, so I'm going to take some of the parts. So we have here the site navigation and this stuff here. So first I'm going to get this site navigation bar. So to do that, I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to name this sidebar or side. Yeah, I think that should be good. Okay, so side now, that should be fine. Okay, then on the top, I'm going to add one more here, and I'm going to call this as header nav.js. Okay, cool. So go back to our navigation drawers, and we're going to locate that site navigation. So in here, as you can see, we have this constant drawer here. So this is the one that calls within the drawer. Okay, so we have this container declaration from here. So what we're going to look now is okay, so good. So I think we can split this one. So I'm going to get this toolbar. Okay, so let's start with this toolbar. I'm going to copy or cut this one. Okay. Okay, cool. So take note, we just cut it from here. And we're going to import that in here. So same goes. Okay. So from this section here, let's say I'm going to paste that in here. Cool. Okay. So don't mind with this clicking here. Later, we're going to update this section. So for now, we have already split or separate the navigation. So head back to our responsive drawer and I'm going to call that back again. So to do that, we need to call the header nav. Okay, there you go. Good. That's the first one. Okay, so don't mind, there might be a bunch of errors after this one because there were some codes that we need to add like this. Oh, okay, it's not defined. 75. Let's head back and check this one. Oh yeah, it's not here. So we need to go back. This one did not captured the name. So let's do it again. Header. And this one. Okay, let's close that one. To make sure that this exists, let's check this declaration from here. Okay, cool. So perfectly, we already import this header. So now, let's head back to our preview. Okay, good. So it's okay. So what we're going to do is we need to import this package. So this is from the material UI. So we need to import the following. First, we need to import the toolbar. So to do that, I'm going to cut the toolbar here. Okay, here. So I'm going to get this toolbar, save that, and go back to our header. Just paste it. Okay, then head back here. Okay. Next is the okay, next. After that, we're going to import these icon buttons. So icon buttons, head back to our navigation drawers. So look for the icon buttons. Need to cut that, save, and then head back to our navigation header and paste that component. Okay. Next, notice here, we can already check from here what are those components that we're looking at. So next, I'm going to move these menu icons. So let's head back to our responsive drawer and look for menu icons. Cool. And the last one is this typography. Okay, so let's go back here and look for typography. Okay. Okay, good. We're done. So let's head back here. Okay, now that we move all those stuff, the next thing we need to do now is look here. We have a handle drawer toggle is not defined. So actually, this makes sense because we didn't move first the yet the handle drawer function. So to do that, let's head back here. We have an error. It's looking for these toolbars and typography. So which means the main responsive here is also using this the toolbar. So let's copy that toolbar and typography. So just copy this one so that we need to clean up those errors. Then later we're going to clean all these things stuff. Okay, so from here, going to copy this also. Uh, we're targeting is to lessen the errors. Then later, we're going to transfer those function. So let's check now. Okay, good. So right now, we only got the handle drawer toggle. Okay, so let's head back here. The error comes from this section here. So this, where is that? Okay, here is the handle drawer toggle. So to Okay, to solve this problem, we need to import the function. So to do that, I'm going to assign a properties here. So for this example, I'll be using these properties props. So what it does, actually you can name any assigned properties from here. But for this example, I'll be using the default, which is from React, which is what we call the props. So what it does, this will help us to transfer, it's either a variable or a function. So this will help us to copy those from the parent. So this actually serves as a child. Then once you assign the props, I'm going to call these properties to pass on this handler function. So don't forget this period. So which means we're passing handle drawer toggle to our property props. Now, for this to make it work, we need to head back to our responsive drawer. So take note. Okay, remember here. Okay, we're going to look for this handle drawer toggle. So to look for that, head back to the responsive drawer and then look for this function. And this is the one. Okay? So what we're going to do is we need to pass this function to our component header. So to do that, just copy this one. And then go back to our component that we add a while ago here. And then we need to pass that function like this. And then you need to enclose that and save that. So what it does is this function will be passed on to our props here. So this now carries the handle drawer toggle. So let's check. And there you go. Okay, cool. So that one works. Okay, next. Okay, so right now we're working on this header part here. So this is the header. Okay, so next we're going to move this sidebar. So to do that, we're going to copy. Right. Let's head back to our responsive drawer. And we're going to look for that navigation bar. For this example, we have this, I think this one, the drawer. Let's see. Okay. So this is the box, navigation. Okay. So for this section, I'll be copy this drawer. Okay. So we can move this drawer just to make sure that everything is okay. I'm going to inspect all of it. We have a closing drawer here. Okay, so this one belongs to this one. And there's another drawer here that belongs to another one. Okay, so I would suggest to copy all those drawers. Okay, make sure. Okay, so anything within this box, we can transfer. So I'm going to copy this drawer. Okay, let's split that. Here, okay, cut that. Okay, after we cut that component section, so let's head back to this site nav. So let's do this snippet. Okay, so from here, I'm going to paste that. Okay. Now, you need to take into consideration because this time we have two components, and in React, it needs to have a parent component to contain this component. So to do that, I'm going to enclose that with this bracket here. This one. You need to cut this one, this close tag here, and paste it at the bottom. Save it. And there you go. Okay, now that we have this one, we need to import this site navigation back to our responsive drawer. Okay, always remember where you cut the last the last code. So just paste it there. So to do that, we need to call this site now. And there you go. Okay, cool. So now that we have this one, we need to check what are those package or components that we need to include. So let's go back to our code. And these are the things. So here we have the list. First is the drawer, container, and there's a bunch here. So let's start with the drawer first. So let's copy that. So go back in our responsive drawer and look for drawer. There you go. The sidebar. Okay, we'll paste from here. Okay, cool. So outside from drawer, okay, so only drawer. Yeah. So only drawer is the component that available in our site navigation bar. Now, the next one is we have to import also the functions, that is the container, mobile open, and this function handle drawer toggle. To do that, we need to include that in our props. So same goes, we need to type the props, copy that, and then I'm going to paste that here with a period. Okay. Okay, good. So I guess everything is okay now. So except there's this one. Okay, so but before that, we need to fix first these props. So first, we need to import the container. Copy this container here. Go back here and look for the navigation here. So from here, we need to include container. Since we know already what this function is, so we just enclose this like this one. Okay. Next, go back to our site navigation. We need to include also this mobile open. Next to mobile open, we need to include also handle drawer toggle. Let's copy back and paste it here. Okay, let's move this a bit so that we can see the entire content. Okay. Okay, let's check. Okay, right now we still have some missing properties here. We have the drawer width and the drawer. Okay, so we need to look for this one. So drawer width. So take note, this was declared here. So we already defined that in the main responsive drawer. So what we're going to do is we need just to just add. Okay. And the last one, right, so we have the drawer width. Okay. So let's go back to our site navigation. Okay. Okay. So we need to, okay, we need to add the props. This, we need to include this in our props. And this one as well. Include this. Okay, cool. So we need to, a while ago we already finished with property drawer width. So next we need to copy this one. Oh, okay, so we still have this one. So I need to copy that or include in the props. Okay, cool. So I guess everything is okay now. So let's head back to our responsive drawer and we need to include that in our properties. And there you go. Cool. Okay, nice. Okay, so to finalize this example, we're going to name this as, okay, I'm going to name this one. Let's say, going to say main. Okay, so once you change that, make sure you also change the name of your function. So this should be main. Yes. Okay, so this is the main. So let's head back to our app.js. Okay, so right now we name that as main. So here, we need to copy that also. And there you go. Cool. Yeah, so that's it. Nice. Okay, so that's it, guys. On the next topic, we'll be discussing about navigation and router and routes. So please stay tuned. Right now, we only discussed the basic component for navigation. So this includes all these layouts. So this is in preparation to our next activity. So that's it, guys. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button and subscribe. And see you guys on the next video series. Cheers!